Good morning or afternoon, I guess. It is just around 2 UTC. US market's going to open up in about half an hour. Should be open around when this video comes out. Anyways, going through the data that's come out. Obviously, yesterday we saw the CPI data came in poorly. Bullish for the dollar, bad for the market. Nice little pop off of that. Same thing today. We've seen quite a bit of, you know, bullish for the dollar, bad for the market type stuff. Initial jobless claims, PPI. So inflation's on the rise. Initial jobless claims are going down. Keep that in mind. It's definitely going to have a major impact into the next FOMC meeting. Uh, Tomorrow, we do have core retail sales coming in, all this stuff an hour before the market opens. The volatility didn't actually react too powerfully on the advent of the current news. It was much bigger reaction yesterday with the CPI data. So we'll see how the market opens. On the long and short side for Bitcoin, yeah, we've had a bit of a localized downside as we get the nice failure from the previous weekly open that I talked about yesterday. We quickly went from about 58% long to back to 2 to 1 long to short, around 67.5%. So people still really aggressively pressing the green button. And the more that happens where we are actually still trending down, the more likely it is we just drop the floor out and maybe go sub 90. But we'll see as the price develops going into the open. Funding rates are pretty neutral across the board. BitMEX 0.01, nothing much to say about the rest of it. It's generally Binance is an outlier here for sure. That's a big one. The fact that they're supporting a potential upside move with negative funding rates, that's good. We'll see how the market opens up. On the liquidation side, a big thing that we've seen really was we talked about the move yesterday, right? We got the big move down to then pop back up. We grabbed that big chunk of liquidity, move right back up to the swing fail off of the stuff we did from Tuesday, and now we're kind of settling again. I would expect that if we do actually gain the high now, what we've done at 98K, since that's where we rejected from, that is a potential trend change to go to, 99K, effectively, potentially even 100K. There is some local liquidity there, so watch that really intently. If we do have some sweeps on the low, any new lows under the 94, we should see some bigger collapses back down sub 90. So it is interesting that we're now from that low that we did from yesterday. There is the potential for a trend change if we break that local high and then break that 98K. Effectively gaining 98K, 98.2 really, that starts to get us into a potential bullish scenario to go back up to test things. But until then, you're technically still looking for failures because we haven't broken the local trend that's been going on for over a week. On the liquidity order book side, so where there are some resting orders, we have a big pocket of stuff above us. This is not natural. This is algorithmic. It came in earlier this morning, about 5 hours ago or so. Big chunks, couple thousand Bitcoin stacked above, effectively from where the local highs are, 96K, holding us down up to about 96.6. So it's a nice little $500 zone where we want to see these orders get pulled, or we want to see price move through it very aggressively. But this is a big thing. This is adding liquidity to potentially influence a push of price lower. We want to see either one of two things: price accelerate through this, which means that this is now fuel to potentially go back up to the highs at 98K, or we want to see a rejection. That means we lose the local floor and we start grinding down towards that 94. 94K is getting pretty stacked with resting orders as well. And then on the higher time frame, 91 is very heavily stacked also. So this is good to see. We've got some potential hold points, even if we break down lower, 94K and then down towards 91, 91.2, where we have some nice stacks of orders. But the local stuff that we care about is right here. There are some large orders holding us down, and that came in as a block. Like this is an algorithmic block that's holding price lower. So watch this. We want to see a gain of this to potentially squeeze back up higher. Otherwise, it is resistance that's pushing us lower. Anywho, going over to the liquidity delta, we've got some spot stepping in. It's not great. It's not terrible since it's not being supported on the perpetual side as well. It was a lot more clear earlier, with a lower time frame move late last night. Nice little bounce off the lows to come up and test stuff. Nice little retest to go back higher. So a bit of a rough one. Oh, sorry, this was from 2 days ago. There you go. And that's what you want to see. When you find like absolute bottoms or absolute tops, you want to see the spot move coinciding with the perpetual move to find that low. We're not seeing that yet. It's wishy-washy on the perpetuals, so it's a bit of indecision comparatively to where the high was yesterday at 98K, where that was the short. We saw the nice little rejection both on spot and perpetuals driving that as the local high. So with that being said, looking at the chart for the plan, We got the kickoff move yesterday, the little push off that high. We talked about the rejection of the previous weekly. We've now fully tested this on the 4-hour structure, which is good. We've come back down now to our local swing low, 95.6, which was the expected move back lower. So this move is now done. Go just hide it real quick. From there, the step off move, the next one is going back up towards to test this high, this 4-hour high. That's still kind of a general potential because we did have a big liquidity move yesterday, about midday yesterday, to step off to go higher. If we do lose this local low and then break back down, we definitely want to see some continuation much lower towards that 91 zone. But like I said, 94K down to the yearly open here, there is quite a bit of orders, quite a bit of long order stepping in. So in any case, right now you have broken back down. You kind of like Bart Simpson, this little move on a lower time frame. The effective move here is really simple. You're in a flat. You've got untested structure above you. The next move up is likely going to be a test up towards the weekly open. If we do see a gain of that, we should see a move back up towards the highs. There is resistance still. It's the resistance that we failed at yesterday. So until we start gaining this, gain this high and gain this high, that would constitute to me a trend change and a potential shift in the general direction of the market to come back up towards 100K plus to test things. Until then, we're kind of still in that grindy sideways flat. If that's the absolute low, we're at support. So the local play is really simple. We're looking for this support to hold until we get a confirmation of failure, invalidation of that local support, and then breaking back down lower. Right? So until that happens, you're still looking for a test back up higher to at least towards the previous weekly, and then we kind of go from there. So big three scenarios, really simple. You're at local support. You're looking for a gain off the weekly open in December to come back up and taste the previous weekly. The loss, the invalidation of the local long is a failure of the local support, which forces you to break back down towards the yearly open, Q1 open, all that jazz. And then the real gain that changes the trend is regaining 98K, 98.2, really getting above this high and like the local high. If we can do those two things, even if we break above and then do a much deeper retest, you're technically looking for a higher low to have a continuation move. So that would really be the break of structure, breaking up higher. Until that happens, you've got a local potential move higher with a nice invalidation to flip short. So that's that. Take it easy and catch you tomorrow.